Alright, so this is going to be a video on graphing linear inequalities. So you can see on your note sheet that we have these inequality signs for our graphs instead of regular old equal signs. So it's going to be the same process for graphing. There's just a few special things for inequalities. So let's take a look at number one. Number one looks like this. Alright, we have the equation y equals, or actually y is greater than 3/5 x plus 1, and we have this graph right here. Alright? Well, whenever we graph this, to just regular old graph it, we need to identify the b and we need to identify the m. Well, remember, that looks like y equals mx plus b. That's the b and that's the m. So in this case, our b is 1, or we could say 0, 1, and our m is 3/5. Alright, so where do we begin to graph? We begin at 0, 1, and we move to get more points using our slope, so up 3/5. And there's our equation. Now here's the new part. Alright, for the inequalities, you need to look at this sign. This sign is going to decide if I need a full solid line or if I need a what we call a dotted line, and there's going to be a side where we shade. Alright, so I see that my screen's jumping up a little bit, but it'll fix itself. What we need to first decide is, what sign is that telling me to do? Well, if I have just the less than or greater than symbols, just those two guys, just the less than or just the greater than symbols, you are going to need dotted lines. Okay? Dotted lines, because it doesn't say equal to. Alright? It says either less than or greater than. So if it says those things, then you're just going to need a dotted line. We don't need a full solid line. So let's draw ourselves a dotted line going across, connecting those dots. And then at the same time, you also need to know what side of the line to shade. Well, this says that y is greater than our equation. Everybody see that? Y is greater than our equation. Well, if you think about the y-axis in respect to this line, all of the greater than values on the y-axis are all up here. So what we need to do is we need to shade all of this stuff up here. Alright? Here, I'll tell you what, no more looking at me. We're going to get rid of that guy. Now we can do this. Now we can do some work. Alright, let's take a look at question number 2. Again, if I went too fast, you can always stop the recording and you can fix it yourself. Alrighty, so question number 2, same kind of thing. Identify the b, identify the m. That's the b, so 0, -4. This is the m, which is -2/1. So graphing this, we go down to 0, -4. And then our equation, our slope says to go down 2/1. So down 2/1, down 2/1. Alright, now look at my symbol now. I have either a less than or greater than or equal to. These are solid lines. Alright, so let's connect our dots and make a nice solid line. Whoa, went kind of crooked. Let's get rid of that and make a better one. Let's use our cheater here. It's alright, it's red, no big deal. Alright, so there's my line, it's a solid line. And now I need to decide if I need to shade everything greater than the line or if I need to shade less than the line. Well, if I look at it, it says that y is greater than the line. So where is all my y values greater than where my line crosses? They're all up here. So I need to shade everything on this side of the line. Do that on your notes. Question number 3. Alright, look at question number 3. We need to do some work on this one. This one does not look like y equals mx plus b. So I need to solve it for y first. And then I can make it look like y equals mx plus b. So let's put a line down our equal sign. To solve for y, I first need to move the x over by subtraction, because that's already a positive 6x. Alright, then I can divide by my coefficient in front of the y, which is in this case a minus 2. So divide that by minus 2 and divide that by minus 2. Let's simplify, which means we're going to reduce all these fractions. That's going to reduce to just regular old y. Bring down that, well, if I divide by a negative 2, remember with inequalities, if you divide by a negative number, your inequality symbol switches. So now instead of greater than, I actually have a less than symbol. And then continue on reducing. 10 divided by negative 2 is a negative 5. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a plus 3. And don't forget about that x. So that's solved for y, but I want to make it look like y equals mx plus b, so let's just flip this around. Okay, so that's going to be y equals, or excuse me, y is less than 3x minus 5. Here's the m, here's the b. Let's graph it. Y, or negative 5 is right here on the y-axis. And now this slope goes up 3 over 1. Remember, any whole number can always be made into a fraction as dividing it by 1, or putting 3 over 1. And here I have one of those less than or greater than symbols. No equal sign, so I need a dotted line. So let's put us a dotted line right here. In fact, I'll go ahead and draw it with one of these kinds of lines. That's a dotted line. And now look at our symbol. We have a less than symbol. So I want all the y's that are less than the line. Well, if I go to where the line crosses y, all the stuff less than that are down here. So I need to shade below the line. Everything less than the line. Alright, one more example and then we're going to be done. So this last example is a special kind of line. You see this line? It looks like x minus 3 is less than or equal to 0. What am I missing? I'm missing the y. This is one of those special lines. I can solve it. To solve this for x, I need to move the 3 over by adding 3. So we're going to have x is less than or equal to 3. Alright? But I'm missing the y. Therefore, I have no slope and I have no y-intercept. This is something called undefined. And remember, undefined lines go straight up and down and cross the x-axis. So wherever x equals 3, which is right here, is going to be my line. Now I still have these inequality symbols though. This one with the equal sign is solid lines. So let's put us a solid line going straight up and down at y or x equals 3. And now what about shading this one? This one, instead of y being less than 3, I have x is less than the line. Well, here's my line. Where are all the x values that are less than this line? Well, they're all over here. And sure enough, I can look at that arrow and it points to the left. So I need everything over this way. Alright, these are the notes for your station. Good luck with the assignment.